we do. It's so amazing.
Beautiful beaches.
So you were outside shooting, and it was really to talk about what? What is it really that you were there for?
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of, we were talking about walking,
right.
you know, and how, you know, I think walking, and I know I felt this way in my 20s. I was like, walking, who's that for? That's
yes.
such a waste of time. Like,
right.
why would I walk? Like, it had to be hardcore, like cardio
right.
or, you know, weightlifting or whatever. And I remember, you know, thinking it was a waste of time, and now it's like my like favorite thing to do
yes.
is to walk. And there's so many reasons why it's good for you. There's so many benefits to doing it. And even whether it's walking like in a huge span, like you go for a 30-minute walk, or even just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, taking little breaks. And it's not even just the walking by itself. It's getting
yes.
outside. It's getting some sun. It's, you know, for me, even I work at home a lot, and it's like getting outside of my house and my workspace and getting, you know, getting away into a different environment mm-hmm. and, you know, animals and sunshine and all the things like that go with it, yes. I think is so beneficial.
It's our connection to the outdoors. You know,
yeah.
typically if you're going to go for a walk, it's not an inside activity other than, you know,
middle of winter.
Middle of winter, yeah. If you live up north and you have an indoor track or something, which is, you know, still a fine option, but the attraction for me in particular is that it's putting you outside, it's giving you fresh air, it's getting you upright, vertical, mm-hmm. moving. We think better, we function better actually when we're on our feet versus being in a seated position, which most of us at our jobs anymore with technology and everything, we sit a lot more. It's as smart as we get and as industrious and technologically advanced as we get, we do find that we're connected to devices more, so we're sitting more.
Yeah.
We're not moving as much. We're not engaging people as much as we once did because we can do that from a seated position. Mm-hmm. So anytime we can purposely get up and go out, we do that here, where everyone kind of is like, hey, let's go for a walk.
Yeah,
and so we have a whole industrial area around here that we can do big walks, or we'll go out into some side streets and walk outside, especially once the weather turns like this.
Yeah, it's nice out. It's a great break, like just
yeah.
to give your eyes a break from the computer,
yes.
to like reset for, you know, whatever the afternoon, things like that. I mean, you'll
yeah.
be able to come back and focus better.
That's right.
If you actually, sometimes it feels like, oh, I don't have the time to take the break. I don't have time for
yeah.
it. But if you come back refreshed, right, like kind of how you feel when you wake up,
right.
you get more done.
You're more productive.
It's
scientifically backed that people that have incremental breaks, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours built into their day, are more productive over the mm-hmm. course of an 8-hour day, let's say, versus trying to work as much as you can without breaks in an 8-hour period. You're like an anomaly if you're super productive over
the whole time, yeah.
8 hours. It's kind of like, I think about it like from the perspective of a child, of a kid. Are they going to be more productive if they're just sitting in a classroom all day with no breaks, no recess, no PE, no lunch?
Yeah.
Or are they going to be more productive and more engaged and in better frame of mind when they're getting these outlets? Absolutely. And then they come back? Like I always say, like, I have 2 children, and if I was a superintendent in schools and actually had some say-so, I would have multiple recesses in my class,
yeah.
in my schools. And because that's what children need, especially, but that's what adults need. That's what people need.
Everybody needs, yeah.
Everybody needs like breaks, and everybody needs productive breaks. Not like go out and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah,
I'm
or
talking
just
about
play on your phone.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about movement, because movement is what gets everything stimulated. It improves circulation. It improves digestion.
Yeah.
It improves cognition. And I'm not just talking out of my rear end. Like, this is all 100% backed by science and studies. And I mean, you can look it up. It's really easy once you know how the body works mm-hmm. to know the impact of just walking. And it's intentional walking, not like, I'm not talking like casual. I'm talking like, because I remember my mom used to say, I'm on my feet all day. She worked in the restaurant business. I'm like, but Mom, yeah, it's better than sitting, that you're up and walking, serving people and stuff, but it's not exercise walking. It's not, I'm going to walk from A to B or for this amount of time without interruption. Mm-hmm. That's different. that's walking with intention. That's a dedicated workout
Yeah.
for your walk. So like, how much would you say you walk yourself, like in a given day or week?
I mean, it really depends. I try to get out and walk every day. So, you know, it depends on the weather sometimes, or just what time I have too. So if I know I'm gonna do like maybe a longer workout, I might do a shorter walk, or if I'm not working out that day, I might do a longer walk. So I try to do it, like the very bare minimum is like 15 or 20 minutes. But some days I'll just do longer, or go to the beach, or do something more fun to get out of my environment as well. So it depends too, because some days I tend to do that. I'll walk more around my apartment if I'm cleaning and doing a lot of stuff too. So I'll get steps that way. But you know, it just really depends. And if you're not walking, you know, sometimes I think too, we said, like, oh, I have to go walk like 2 hours a day or something crazy. Like, start with something, right? And it doesn't have to be the same every day. Like I said, some days it's 15 minutes. It's all I have time for.
Yes.
Right? Or I'm like trying to get it in before it starts raining. And other days I'm like, yeah, let's go for an hour. Let's do a long, you know, a long walk. And so it's going to vary depending on your schedule, the day. Like, if you have other activities, like you're working out or doing other stuff that day, you may do a little bit less, because I know if I'm getting in a good workout, I'm also getting a lot of steps walking around the gym and that stuff too. So it depends on a lot of different factors, but something is always better than nothing. And I mean, I've worked with clients where, I mean, they would get like 2,000 or 3,000 steps the whole entire day.
Yeah, it's ridiculously
You know what
low.
I mean? So it's even 15 minutes for somebody like that is a good starting point, and it's going to make a difference. And you think, oh, 15 minutes isn't a lot, but add that up over the course of a month, over the course of a year. And usually once you start getting in the habit of it, you're like, oh, it's kind of nice out. I want to stay out here. And the next thing you know, it's 20 minutes, it's 30 minutes.
That's right.
You
Yeah,
know?
typically if you start small, automatically you're kind of self-inspired to do more.
Yeah.
If you say, I'm just going to go walk for 5 minutes, it's going to be 10 or 15, probably without even trying. Or I'm going to walk for 15, and all of a sudden it's 20 to 30 minutes. So, but start small with most things in life. If you're trying to implement a new good habit or a new good activity, start with something that's very, very small, bite-sized, and to encourage yourself to continue with it. Because if it's too much, a lot of people bite off more than they can chew, and then they're right back where they started, and now they feel defeated. So don't enter into it with too much ambition. Go in with, like, say, tempered enthusiasm, I guess, or, you know, a reasonable amount of effort.
Yeah, I mean, you want a goal you can actually achieve, because I think that's what a lot of people do. Or they hear something like, oh, you're supposed to get 10,000 steps a day, and they're only doing 2 or 3, and when the goal seems too big, our brain just kind of goes, I can't do that. And then we choose to do nothing. And like I said, even a short 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes is always, always, always better than doing nothing, right? And because it builds momentum too, like we were talking about, because you do it and then you get in a habit and then you're like, oh, I kind of like this, I want to do it more, and you're walking without even realizing it, and you're getting more steps in. And like now it's hard for me to sit for long periods of time. Like even if it's not going outside to walk, I find myself like taking breaks to just like, oh, let me like put a few dishes away, or like just walk around the hallway, or just do something to move. So so you kind of get addicted to it a little bit too, I think. Of
oh no doubt about it.
Liking how you feel, because when I sit for long periods of time, like on an airplane or I'm driving now, I'm like, oh, like I can tell my energy's lower, my body gets all stiff and tight, and I don't like it. So
it's exactly, you feel fuzzy, you feel I don't know, it's like when you're idle, your body very quickly starts to act differently, and it affects your mental state. And I'm not saying like going for a long car ride is like an awful thing. I do road trips with my family, but I mean, you're stopping every like couple hours, or you know, whatever. But it's that feeling that your body will take on, that also, and it's a mental thing. And if you're not intentional, you can quickly kind of go down a bad path of like of being idle. But there's another better word for sedentary.
Oh, sedentary.
Yeah.
Couch potato.
And, right, being couch potato or being sedentary, which is, that's where you have muscle loss and atrophy and everything else, and that's what is so scary when we get older. I want to talk more about this in a moment, but we need them to see about the contest.
Yeah.
Now listen, we have all our free stuff actually is right over here, and I'll talk more about that, but you need to see how to get your $100 Amazon gift card, how to enter in for free items, a bunch of free different workout equipment, simple stuff that you can enter into right now and get right away. It's free, you just pay shipping to get it. It's a bunch of great Critical Bench swag. And then you're also entered into our Halloween Spooktacular Amazing Contest. So here's more information about that. We'll see you back here in 2 minutes.
YouTube channel. It's the Halloween Mega Contest Spooktacular giveaway. We're giving away sliders. We're giving away jump ropes. We're giving away minivans. Don't forget, we got shaker cups and recipe books too. And you too can be a winner, but it's for a limited time only, ending in October. While supplies last, claim your free gifts at the links below. Oh, but that's not all, because with every live stream, we're giving away $100 Amazon gift card. What? Click that notification bell so that you too can be a winner. Oh, but wait, there's more! When you click the link below to claim your free gift, you are automatically entered into a dream vacation for 2 Garmin smartwatches and a home gym with adjustable dumbbells and adjustable bench. Feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders? Maybe you need that dream vacation. You're running out of time. Act now and claim your free prize. Don't wait any longer. Jump right into the competition. Slide right on down to the links below to claim your free prize. Free! Free, free, free! Free, 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 free!
Back on. Hey, we apologize first and foremost at the start of this live stream for any technical issues. We are still figuring out the best way to bring you a live stream experience here. But live TV is live TV, man.
Yeah, stuff happens. It doesn't always work the way you want.
Stuff happens. I mean, we're getting good at it, and we have 2 amazing guys that are behind the scenes making it all work. But it's just sometimes stuff just doesn't work.
For like no reason, and then the next day it'll be fine, and you're like,
fine.
What the heck?
It's like everyone works on a computer at some point in their life, right? And your computer is just temperamental sometimes, Same thing when you got multiple cameras and audio components and monitors and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, we thank you for bearing with us, and we're trying to continually find ways to improve the experience on our YouTube channel, because we have so much great edited contests. We've been creating videos since 2008.
Wow.
And then we were, for anyone who's newer maybe to Critical Bench, they don't realize our history. I can give you the real quick snapshot. 10 years ago when I started here, we started uploading 1 video every single day. In fact, not that long after that is when I met Becky, and we started doing filming with her more regularly. And every day we uploaded a video. And we stuck with that for like 7 years. Every day a video went up, right? And so you build a lot of momentum doing that. And then we backed off for a period of time to, every other day for the most part. And then we're back to every day again. But now we're doing live streams, we're doing edited content, we're doing shorts. We're doing everything that we have the capacity to do, that YouTube allows us to do, basically. And it's really just to be able to reach our end user better. So some people like shorts. Some people like live streams. Some people, so I encourage you, if you're watching live, engage. And ask us questions, and what we should start maybe considering doing is doing more like live Q&A type stuff, you know, when it's based on about a particular topic. Hey, so you saw that crazy guy in the video, looks a lot like me. We're a little bit related. There's free stuff, there's sliders, there's shaker cups, there's mini bands. There's, with the shaker cup, you get the protein recipe guide. These are what the mini bands look like, all the funky, awesome colors, depending on what strength of resistance you're looking for, right? You get 5. You get your Strong by Design jump rope. So all of these free, great home pieces of equipment that I use, I mean, we use them here in our training all the time. I skip rope, I use sliders, we use mini bands on the turf. So we're using this stuff that we want to give to you so you can use it at home. Because sometimes people are really intimidated when it comes to all the big weights and all the big, you know, it's like you don't need heavy weight to get more fit. Certainly, the heavier you go, the more, I'd say maybe the easier it is to really pack on the muscle a little faster, but then the diet has to be there, all these other factors need to be there. But you can get along a lot with just body weight, like what you were talking about today, with walking, body weight training, mini bands, sliders, jump rope, stuff like that.
I mean, you can hit your whole body with that stuff, and you're good. Cardio, upper body, lower body, core, all of it.
I did a workout here yesterday, just kind of a round robin. We were just each out here doing different things, and then my wife's like, hey, I want to work out. You want to work out with me at night? And I'm like, yeah, sure, because I'm like, Lord knows I could use a double session, you know? So I'm like, sure, I'll work out again. And her workout was like kind of like a conditioning CrossFit workout, right? So all these like weird ab drills in the beginning, and then it was like burpees and then like 200-meter runs.
Oh, wow.
So that was my evening workout, but I need that. That's like what I won't do here.
More cardio.
Yeah, I won't do the conditioning as much as I'll do the resistance training. So last night, I did 10 rounds of 10 burpees mixed with 200 meters, like not sprints, but you know, running fast. And man, was I sweaty, but boy, did I feel good afterwards. Like getting that done, just that type of movement. And that was I was getting like twitchy, and like my calves were cramping up, my abs are sore, and that's just from burpees and running.
But that's, you're using your whole, you're using your core. People don't realize how much, some of those moves you're using your core.
I know.
Because if you didn't, you'd just do a burpee and
fall
on the floor. You know what I mean?
Look at somebody like Funk Roberts. You know who Funk is, right? Funk is like in his early mid-50s. He's ripped. He's in unbelievable shape. And he's like the burpee guru, you know? Like he's like, any which way you want to burp, I can do 101 different types of burpees. And he does, and I think that's a huge part of his training is like body weight specific, calisthenic type training. So that's just my extra point to all of you out there is like, if you want the body you've always dreamt of having, it doesn't require a heck of a lot more than just consistency and gravitating to something that you enjoy that feels good. And that could be just push-ups and air squats and some lunges, right, and some type of pull, and a lot of walking and maybe some biking or swimming and stuff like that. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's just, are you gonna do it?
Do something. And I think people hold themselves back because they feel like, oh, I have to have all this stuff, or I have to do it. I can't tell you how many times I heard somebody say something like, oh, I'm going to start running, and I hate it, but I know I need, and I'm like,
I know I need to do it.
There's so many other things you can do instead. So we try to do things we don't want to do. We try to feel like we need to have all these things in place, and if you would just start with something and doing something you enjoy, and I mean, yeah, maybe you don't love doing workouts, but there's ways to make it fun. Music, follow along videos, do it with a friend. So it doesn't always mean that, find activities you like, and if it's one you don't love, right, find a way to make it more fun. There's so many, using different things. That's why I like mini bands. I kind of think they're fun because you can do different exercises with them and stuff.
They are fun.
Keep some variety and some different things in there.
What's something that you do that's not a workout, that's just an activity that it's just something you really like to do?
Oh, you know, I love getting on the water, like paddle boarding.
Yeah.
I mean, I love walking and hiking. Now, Florida isn't exactly the place for hiking.
Not so much hiking.
Not so much, but there's some trails and stuff here. But I love hiking, or like being in the woods, or like on the beach or somewhere, not like just like a paved road somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite, is being out in nature, like either hiking or walking. And then you have like paddle boarding, and I like the paddle boarding, and kayaking is fun too. But I like to be able to stand up, and you can sit on the paddle board, and so I don't know. I had never paddle boarded until I was in Florida a few years ago, and I'm like, it is really good workout.
It looks
fun
it looks
too.
so fun, and I've been meaning to do paddle boarding with my wife for years, and I'm not joking, years, and we still have yet to do it.
You gotta go. It's
well,
so
it's because when you have kids, anytime we go to the beach, I have a boy and a girl with me, you know what I mean? So my wife and I are like, I need to take a vacation day, and then we just go paddleboarding together on a vacation day during the week when we don't have to worry about kids.
Yeah.
But I've been meaning to do that. And then just, gosh, the luxury we have with beaches, walking on the sand, walking along the water is like...
it's hard.
It is. It's harder. I mean, harder in a good way, like the way it works your feet and your calves and stuff. And
like your feet, your calves will be sore. You definitely get more out of breath because you're like you're kind of digging through the sand. So it's like it's a good workout in a different way that you're not used to. You're kind of like, oh, going for a walk on the beach, and then you're like, wow, this is like this is a good workout.
It's a real deal. And it's great because you're barefoot again. You're outside, fresh air. The beach, beach always feels great, especially from now until like April. When the water gets a little cooler, the humidity goes away, and you get these, so of course I'm bragging about like
come to Florida,
the west coast of Florida, but wherever you are, I'm sure there's parks, I'm sure there's recreational opportunities for you, and you should absolutely take advantage of those. The simplest form of exercise is oftentimes the best, and that's just getting out and moving. And I've read a lot about hiking, the benefits of hiking, and I'm talking so not like road walking or sidewalk walking in the woods, because of the way you have to navigate through your path. You have to take bigger steps, shorter steps, lateral steps. You have to go up. You got to go down. The impact it has on you mentally, so cognitively, what's happening. And what it does for your hips and your knees and your ankles in terms of strengthening, because you want forces to hit your bones in different ways, right? Because that's what makes our bones strong. Our bones weaken when we don't move, right? Yeah. So our bones stay strong when we're up vertically and we're moving. And hiking is like reported as one of the greatest forms of exercise for any population, but certainly our aging population. Because, again, of all those other side
and
things that come with it.
It's not a flat surface, so you're trying to keep your balance, so you're working all these muscles that help with balance, so you're less likely to fall, and, like little muscles that just don't get worked as much when we're always, like, on a flat surface, and it's concrete, and we don't really have to think about what we're doing, and, so, like hips, like, we're not doing side-to-side movement, we're not working our hips as much and things like that, so... And it's really good for your feet, because I like how it kind of like stretches to your feet.
Oh,
when
my
you're
gosh.
like, I like try to walk on the roots or the rocks, because I'm like, oh, that's such a good little stretch on my foot.
No, it is. It's needed, and it's what our bodies are designed to go through.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be flexed and moved in these different ways, and not just our foot's always in a firm, supportive shoe, and our foot doesn't get to ever feel the earth below our feet, and different textures and stuff. That's supposed to happen.
And I think people actually get scared about walking in grass. Oh, I'm going to roll my ankle or something. And I'm like, you're going to roll your ankle because you don't ever walk in grass or walk on these other surfaces and stuff. So yes, be careful if you haven't done it in a long time. Maybe don't start on like the hardest thing, but you want to be doing that stuff, because you never know if you might just kind of roll off a curb and roll your ankle. And if your ankle's used to that, you're less likely to get injured than if your ankle hasn't moved sideways in 10 years. You might do something funky to your ankle, or you might fall all the way down rather than catch yourself. So these things are super important, just to be able to have balance, have health, have, keep everything strong as you get older. So
my mind always goes longevity. Like, I want to be moving in 20 years. I understand I might not be moving as well as I move now, or I might not feel as good as I do now, but I want to hold on to as much of that as possible. And the only way I'm going to do that is by continuing to do it.
Yeah.
We don't get better when we stop something.
No.
And that goes for anything. If you're playing an instrument, if you're a painter,
Yep.
like if you're not in the craft, your ability diminishes.
Well, I used to play
Same with
clarinet,
me.
and if you gave me a clarinet now, I'd be
Right.
like, what do I do with this thing? I have no idea. I was
Right.
really good at it, too.
I bet
but
you were.
I haven't played since, like, 8th grade.
My brother was
So
a
it's
clarinet
like,
player.
Now I'm like, I wouldn't even
Right.
know what to do.
Like,
you
where
know?
do my fingers go?
Yeah.
Like, how do I blow on that reed? Like, what's going on?
I don't even know if I could read music anymore. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't use it, you lose it.
You do.
And that's the thing. It's not that we get old that we can't do this stuff.
That's
It's that
right.
we stop doing this stuff that we can't do it. So
It's that we stop doing it and we get old because we stopped.
Yeah.
That's right. Like our bodies ache and don't feel good doing certain things because we stopped doing them. And so if we continue to, get down on the ground and roll around and do different forms of activity, like stretching or tumbling or things, maybe that we would do with a small kid, like, those things aren't scary and still can feel good even as we get older.
Absolutely,
It doesn't
yeah.
have to just end because, oh, I'm 50 now. So
That's the end,
I
yeah.
can't do that anymore. I'm 50. Well, no, you're just telling yourself that.
Yeah.
But don't sell yourself short. Your body is amazing. Look at Jack LaLanne. And if you don't know who Jack LaLanne is, then
look him up.
look him up because he's one of he's considered like the grandfather of fitness or the grandfather of aerobics, or he's legendary. His feats of strength, older in his life, unbelievable. And he's a man on a mission to prove to everybody that, like, if you move your body well, at any age, you can just keep moving it well and still be strong and still, right? All these different great things. So that's what I love the most, and I'll end with this, that when I see an older couple, like older married couple or whatever, and they're outside and they're walking and they just look fit, but they look happy.
Yeah.
They're not in their house like miserable watching like what Judge Wapner reruns, right, from the 80s. They're like liking life because they're up and out and moving in the world.
They're spending time together, connecting. And it's a
Yeah.
great way to connect with other people. So if
Yeah.
you are scrunched for time and you want to spend more time with your kids, your family, your grandkids, moving is a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a simple walk.
That is, absolutely. All right, so we're going to see you again really, really soon. Don't forget to go get your free stuff. I have it all here. We showed you the sliders. We have you're going to watch this crazy guy again. I'm going to force him to, because once you start to watch him, you can't stop watching him. I've heard that from people. If you want some of this great free stuff, we want to give it to you. Critical Bench here. We love you here at the compound. We thank you for watching. Go get your free stuff and be entered in to win a $100 Amazon gift card. We want to give that to you as well. We'll see you again real soon.